Hi, everyone. Welcome to Deception Detection Radio, Special News Edition. America has been under a silent but ever-growing attack from our government for decades. We, as Americans, are now seeing the deceit and evil plan to take our country down exposed. This is a matter that needs addressed immediately. Our Constitution, our freedom, they are being threatened. In no way should anything said or not said on tonight's news episode be construed as an endorsement for any presidential candidate. Joining Chad and me tonight are returning special guests, author and researcher William Ramsey, along with author and co-host of ParaTruth Radio, Justin Cancelliere. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We appreciate you guys coming on. It's wonderful.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and start with the prayer. Our nation right now is really in need of it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Dear Father, we come to you humbly tonight to ask you to shine your grace on America. Please put your hand on it and cleanse it, Father. Get the evil and just get rid of it. We are under attack right now, Father, and you are our protector. Help us to make sure that we wear your armor every day, that we keep in focus that you are our Savior and that you are our leader, and that we stay true to your word. And we know your promises, and we hold them deep within our heart and your word. Please just keep us going. Don't let us get frustrated and give up, Father. Please make sure that tempers stay cool during this period and level heads prevail. Please put it on everyone's heart that all we want is to be able to get along in our country and do the right thing and not be controlled by the devil. We come to you, Father, for your great protection, and we love you so dearly and thank you for every single blessing that you bestow upon us. Please let our listeners hear the message tonight and bless them and bless everyone here that is taking place, William and Justin, Chad, and myself. I pray this, Father, in Jesus' holy and mighty name. Amen.
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 Well, a lot of things have been breaking in the news lately. It is very, very difficult to know exactly where to start. Chad, do you have an idea where you would like to begin this at?
Well, I mean, we can definitely start on Hillary, and that's probably where we'll spend a predominant portion of the show is all the incredible stuff going on with Clintons and Uma Abedin and Anthony Weiner and everybody else, Loretta Lynch. My goodness, yeah, where do we start? Let's see. How about Epstein? That's a good one. There's been information that is coming out that is basically saying that there is something going on not just with Bill Clinton and Epstein, but also Hillary Clinton as well as Uma Abedin, that they were going to this Bahama island with Epstein and basically all were involved in pedophilia.
What has your research shown you on that, William?
Well, I mean, I've read the same thing. I think that seems to be news that could come out. There are Anonymous, the basically kind of headed hacker group, has said that they are plotting to release information regarding that subject on the 5th of November. So remember the 5th of November. That seems like a date that would be ideal as far as timing is concerned to drop information like that. That information, Anonymous has been pretty reliable. WikiLeaks has been totally reliable on the information that was given to them. It's important to remember that WikiLeaks is a third party. It really isn't involved. Well, there are some things that it's actively paying for information, but generally they receive information from people inside the government. The whole statement by Hillary Clinton and her camp that it's the Russians is deception. It's pretty naked deception. So the information that will come out, or hopefully will be exposed regarding all that information about Jeffrey Epstein and Lolita, the Lolita Express, and that island that they have could rock the entire understanding of this election and render Hillary Clinton, if she steals or wins the election, somebody who is a heavily tarnished candidate, possibly the worst candidate, I mean, literally in the history of this country, the worst candidate, who will be under 2 FBI investigations, plus having this information out. And in addition, she's very, very sick. She actually has some type of brain injury or Parkinson's. So I think that if that information does drop in the next 2 days, I think that it will be a revelation. Also, an insider who's been in the government for a long time, Steve Pieczenik, on his channel, he has a viral video where he talks about this kind of internal struggle for the government of the country, and also talks about the Clinton pedophilia connection. And this is a very serious person who has been in the government for decades, working kind of under the top of a lot of these agencies, the State Department, et cetera. So his...
Hey, William,
yes.
Break it down.
Yes.
Break it down real quick who this guy is and his association with Tom Clancy and all that.
Gotcha. So Steve Pieczenik, he has a funny last name. It's Eastern European, Piecznik or something like that. But he was a ghostwriter for Tom Clancy. So all the information, and Clancy was notorious for really detailed analysis of technology, but also the kind of insight into kind of world of global politics. So Pieczenik was somebody who was also involved in kind of psychological warfare and a lot of things like he knows he knows the Clinton family, he knows Chelsea Clinton, and so he's been on Alex Jones. He just kind of came out and he never really published a picture of himself until the last 3 days, really. And so he's written some information or stated some information that people are taking seriously. Some people say that it's a distraction from the actual criminality, the naked criminality and corruption of Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. However, I think that he's making a general statement, and I think that it's an addition to the information about her corruption. By the way, according to Ed Opperman, in the information that he had, the Clinton Foundation was set up by Jeffrey Epstein, this shadowy billionaire who is probably a front for foreign intelligence and the kind of corruption of our government through kind of these, filming people's sexcapades. So Epstein himself, he's kind of a mysterious figure because there's really not, he's worked for some major brokerage houses, but he was formerly a teacher, and somehow how he came through all this money was very hidden, how he became supposedly a billionaire. He has affiliations with, I think it's Wexner, who was a multi-billionaire in the clothing industry, and he may be getting money from these guys as a front. So things are really very complex right now. There's a lot of things happening above the surface and sub rosa. So, this whole situation, going back to the kind of general premise about this information that may be coming out, there seems to be very reliable information that these hacking groups have obtained information. It's pretty interesting too, because if you look at the WikiLeaks, Podesta himself fell for a very elementary phishing scam where somebody sent him an email that said it was Google, that you've been hacked, you need to change your password. He actually did it, even though the kind of the subpart of the information was some kind of island in the South Seas or something like that, where the actual phishing request came from, which should have made him very leery. But he actually fell for this whole thing and told at least from my understanding, told his old team to change their passwords as well. So, this information is being obtained from very elementary and some possibly sophisticated hacking things, either inside or outside. So,
yeah, it's also come to light that 5 different nations have actually hacked Hillary's email account.
Right, 99% chance that the 5 nations have gotten into her email, and it's important to know what kind of information she had on there. She had information that you have to go to a certain place and walk through multiple doors to look at this information. It's called special access information, and it's remarkable that she had it on her server. So why does she need to have that information? All that information has been redacted from the public, but why does she have it? I mean, nobody really knows.
Well, what was it today? They actually just published an article a couple hours ago saying that the entire emails from the week of Benghazi are missing. Not just hers, but everybody's. Even Obama's.
Were those bleached? I mean, with that one program? I didn't get to that article.
Yeah, it was,
they use BleachBit.
Yeah, they use BleachBit on her server and everything. But like I said, when they got Anthony Weiner's laptop and his desktop, and also they said that they took the router as well. They found about 650,000 emails, and there was a folder on there that contained about 10,000 emails that was actually labeled life insurance.
Right. Yeah, so it's pretty scary. I would be very concerned. I mean, one of the interesting things about this whole WikiLeaks and hacking thing is what's it like for Hillary and her team after they discover all of this information where they're talking about one another and people reveal stuff and stuff that probably was compartmentalized from other members of the team. There's one in there where it looks like, I can't remember the exact WikiLeaks email, but it looks like Hillary Clinton is deceiving her own staff about some of this information. So they may be totally in the dark about what she was up to.
Yeah. And what else was there? There was the jump in, Kay.
Well, Justin had something I believe he wanted to say.
Something that just came to my mind because you had brought up the whole Obama and Hillary thing. There was a video on Facebook today that was portrayed as a live Facebook video. I don't know if it was just somebody taping their TV or what, but Obama backing Hillary, and he's continuing to back Hillary. But, there are other people saying he hates Hillary. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around this whole thing, because he's saying, I've seen several articles saying that he's saying stop with the investigations, and that he's against Trump. What did you find, William, as far as the Obama administration and Hillary being in bed together?
Well, it seems like in the surface that they're in bed, and clearly they had secret email accounts where they were in contact with each other. So they're talking about it, and there may be additional information that comes out that shows that Obama blocked the inquiry into the whole email fiasco. And if that's the case, if Obama is involved in asking the Justice Department to stop an investigation, it's a constitutional crisis, really, because
I think that's already coming out and coming to light. That was one of the things that I was thinking of a while ago before I had my brain freeze, was that the Department of Justice actually did, 2015, they had fired off an email to Podesta and them, and basically gave them a heads up that the email thing was about to become an issue. And that, I think it was either yesterday or today, it came out that the FBI was told to stand down in the middle of this investigation.
But they're not. They've continued that investigation, even though they were told to stand down. So they have gathered information, with all this time that has taken place, they've still been gathering that information. So it is hard to tell just exactly what ammo they have.
Yeah, and you've also got Loretta Lynch meeting up with Bill, 2 days before they were going to announce what they were going to do, meeting up with her on a tarmac, talking to her for about 40 minutes on a private runway. So
yeah, good point. Supposedly talking about their family and right, so some kind of non-meaning conversation, which it's hard to find that believable.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think if they find out that the DOJ is shutting down this investigation, I think it's really a constitutional crisis, because you could have somebody come into power in 5 days with this kind of investigation going on and potentially pardon themselves from criminality, which is nothing I suspect from the founders of this country would ever have anticipated. That you'd have such a, questionable candidate become president and then, she's actually close to being a convicted, like a spy, like Robert Hansen or something, somebody who exposed tons of information to foreign parties. So the FBI has this information. The information that they just brought out, or the most recent stuff, they said, what I read was that it was from October. So they've been working on that for, a good 3 days or 3 weeks, I should say. So, I think the next few days before the election are going to be very interesting. That's for sure.
I have one thing that has really stood out to me. We have had all this time to listen to Hillary and to Trump, and all this stuff has been going on since Bill was in office. We've all known there's something that wasn't right. Do you believe that it was done on purpose to bring this all out so just very few days before the election?
Yes. Because
this is very pivotal.
Yes, this was a deliberate. From what I've been hearing, is that it's not. They keep screaming Russia, 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 but the thing is this is actually the FBI and people within our own government that is releasing a lot of this information.
Correct. That's correct. And there's more information to come out. So I do think it's timing. I think that's all timing to influence the election, no doubt.
Well, it's funny that you guys bring that up, and I'm bringing this particular subject up because it's close to home. There's a situation going here in North Dakota where the Standing Rock and Sacred Stone camps are going against DAPL, Dakota Pipeline. And, Obama stepped in and told Dakota Pipeline to halt any activity that they were doing. And then, a couple of days later, or a couple of days ago, rather, it came out that Obama is actually backing DAPL to do 2 more pipelines. And it has been at the top of my mind from the very get-go of what's been going on out here that they are creating a false flag event to influence us into, or play down the election here, especially. And I don't know if you guys have done any research into the situation going on here, but it seems very coincidental, just like the whole Hillary thing, that all of this is happening right at election time.
A distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, this goes all the way back to the XL pipeline before this one. I mean, it's just been one thing after another. The thing out there is they are deliberately provoking violence. The people out there are not being violent whatsoever, but yet they feel the need to shoot people in the face with rubber bullets and canisters and sicking dogs on them, arresting reporters. I mean, they're doing anything within their power to basically silence those people out there.
Well, they're also saying that these protesters are butchering cattle and buffalo and just leaving them for dead. First and foremost, if you know anything about Native American culture, they are ones that will use every piece of the animal as they can. And on top of that, what good would that do them to butcher these things when they believe that these animals are their ancestors or relatives or animal totems? And it has gotten so out of control, and they just keep bringing more and more people in. And the people from the Sacred Stone went to the UN, which, granted, I get UN is just as corrupt as the U.S. government, but went to the UN to try and get help because it isn't getting any better just going through our own government.
Yeah, I saw that, and that the UN was talking about stepping in and getting involved. I mean, that's the thing, is they would love for the UN to come in and step in and get involved, because that would allow them to speed things up, move things forward in the direction that they want things to go. Right. We don't want the UN here under any circumstances, period. If you see blue helmets walking down the street, then, you better get ready, because it's about to go down.
Right. And Kay and I actually kind of talked about this earlier before the show, that just this one spot alone, let alone several things that are going around in the U.S. right now, are going to lead us to a civil war, as well as, I believe, a third world war.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, what's been going on for years and stuff over in the Middle East. I mean, you know, I think back to when what was it, Kerry and McCain were in there. They were wanting to go to war with Syria, and they were sitting in there. And McCain, of all people, he's sitting in there playing poker on his phone. And when they busted him and they asked him about it on Fox News, he's sitting there laughing like a weasel. Yeah, I lost about $2,000. That guy's a weasel. I cannot stand McCain.
You know, there is so much that's happening right now, and Chad sent me some great videos. Chad, as far as the election goes, could you talk to us about the magic decimal?
Oh yeah, the decimal magic.
That's it.
Yeah, it's they uncovered it hidden inside. It was embedded in the GEMS program. It's actually written into the software on all these electronic voting machines, and it ain't just the ones that people are talking about that George Soros' company owns in 16 states. This is every single one of them. It doesn't matter who manufactures them. They're all corrupted, and this has been shown time and time again. Even the older ones where the paper ballots slide through, even those are susceptible. But with this decimal magic program, basically they can go in, they can do this remotely. They don't even have to have physical access to any of the computers at any of these polling places. They can do this via remotely through any computer on the planet. And they can go in there and basically they have all the votes counted, but at the end it has a decimal and then whatever percentage you want that person to win by and their opponent to lose by. And that's all they have to do is break it down. If they want somebody to win by 42%, that's it. They can change it in a heartbeat. And
it's a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it takes 20 seconds to go in and do it. They showed it they could do it in real time, and within 20 seconds they went in and they changed it in an election.
Have you seen that, William?
I've seen part of it, yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with black box voting. And the lady who works with that. So it's really disgusting. You can tell that there is an attempt to rig the election by the fact they don't want people to have exit polls or really any oversight. And so I think that the results from November 8th will be very interesting. I mean, the way that actual polls are being done, Trump is actually at least 10 points ahead of Hillary Clinton. So in the real, the real polls that are done that aren't skewed or they're not over balanced towards Democrats, which I mean they've been caught rigging the polls in the last couple of months. So
they've been rigging them for years. That's the thing.
Right.
They always oversample, and even in the Podesta emails, it even talked about that, about them deliberately oversampling. And like you're saying, that's the thing is they're tipping the scales. They are already starting off 12 points ahead when they do this. Right. So I mean, it's completely, it's all fabricated. None of it is real. The thing they not only the voting machines completely utterly corrupted. You got the delegates, the super delegates. You got them stuffing ballots. You got people doing all sorts of shenanigans in all the polling places. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. I mean, it's totally Twilight Zone.
Yeah, and I mean that's why the kind of Democratic Party keeps asking Trump, won't you okay the final decision on the election? Won't you okay? Because they want to steal the election and have him say yes on November 8th and just move forward. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, you could definitely see the events of Hillary Clinton and the stolen vote lead to greater upheaval in this country without a question. Because if people don't find the vote valid, why are they going to obey bogus laws or stuff like that? I mean, if Hillary Clinton really tries to put the screws on the internet or people having conversations or something like that. So
they're not even holding themselves accountable. I mean, this whole farce with the Clintons, I mean, they talk about that guy that took photos inside of a submarine. They want to put this guy away in prison for a year. But, all the stuff that Hillary did, I mean, she had massive amounts of classified emails on her server that had names of agents, situations and locations and this and that. And we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that 5 enemy countries have hacked her emails. They have all the emails.
And one of the emails the Iranians may have gotten and actually killed one of their nuclear scientists because of his connection to the United States and what was revealed through her emails. I actually made a video about that on my YouTube channel. You can go to William Ramsey Investigates and check it out. But yeah, it's incredible that people want to put their trust in this person who's a criminal and who can't follow simple rules regarding confidential state information. It's incredible. I mean, the lie that she said in public where she didn't know what the C meant, somebody who's been in government for 30 years, it's not believable.
Or how many times did she say, I don't recall, in that one interview with the FBI? Was it 30?
That's a class of 30-something. Yeah, it's like a classic response to lying. You don't say yes or no. You say, I don't remember.
If you can't even recall something as simple as that, how the heck could you be commander-in-chief? I mean,
well, that's a great question. I think it's an awesome question, and I think it's frightening to think that you could have somebody who is that sick and has that bad a memory, who is clearly doing some kind of drugs to keep her propped up. And imagine what the people around her are thinking. We're going to have a president where we can make all our decisions.
Break that down real quick, because I know you've done several videos on this about the Secret Service agent that follows her around, the big black one that has the syringe. Go into that.
Yeah, she's got this. Well, they think that she has. On my YouTube station or channel, William Ramsey Investigates or William Ramsey, you can look that up. You can see her seizing up. She seizes up in response to a variety of external stimuli, particularly loud noises. She actually has some kind of audio physical response that is either due to brain damage or Parkinson's. There's one doctor by Ted Noel at Web, I think it's WebVidZet, who has discussed her Parkinson's and the drugs that she's taking. It's called Ledopa, or I can't remember the name of it, Ledopa. But she's clearly is having seizures, and there's this big black dude who follows her around with the anti-seizure pen. It's called something injector. But he's right behind her, and you can see all these videos. He's watching her like a hawk, and he looks really stressed out. Actually, he looks like he's overeating due to stress, but he's clearly like following her. He's within 2 feet of her at all times, and the media, the cover-up of the media is incredible because they don't even talk about this, which is really a matter of state and national security. But she fully collapsed on September 11th of this year at a memorial for September 11th, and they picked her up like a sack of potatoes and threw her into her, modified ambulance, this kind of strange van that I've never seen any politician ever have. So
with a mattress in it to boot.
With a mattress and a chair that lifts you up, and there's all these medical people around, but you can see all those videos on my site. And if you watch TV for news, you can see how little of that they're showing on the national news and how they're omitting these important aspects of her health, which is really bad. I mean,
there's even video of Bill Clinton talking about how she falls all the time, that she collapses. Yeah. I mean, coming out her husband's own mouth.
Look at the WikiLeaks things. Huma Abedin is saying, sometimes she's not really there. We've got to wake her up there, and she's been drinking. There's one email where on a Saturday at about 2:00 in the afternoon, somebody says, "Wake her up." Wake her up from her drunks. I can't remember the words verbatim, but wake her up when she's drunk and get her to follow this. So she's not only is she sick, she's drinking. I talk about her excessive drinking, which might have led to her illness, falling down drunk.
I've had a lot of people too. I've read a lot of questions. People are wondering why in the world on September 11th they took Hillary to Chelsea's apartment. But the thing that people don't realize is that where Chelsea lives, there was a medical facility in there. Correct. And that has been taken over by the Clinton team. So she really didn't go to visit Hillary. She went to her own medical facility so no one would have access to what was really going on with her.
They didn't want her to go to another hospital so that they're avoiding any record that a doctor would make, a doctor that wasn't a part of her internal care. So there's rumors that Bardack, B-A-R-D-A-C-K, is her family doctor, that she is providing her care, but also not disclosing the totality of Hillary Clinton's illnesses. And I do believe, after looking at the videos, there's a couple videos, it's hard to believe, but I think that they have employed a double. And that person who came out of Chelsea's building was a double. And there was another double. I need to make a video about it, but there was another double on the plane. And she was really good from the front. I mean, they've clearly put some time into making her face look good. But she revealed, she said something, oh, the Madam Secretary will be back anytime. Like, she stumbled, she blew it. And it's a really, it's hard to believe that they're employing doubles, but I am willing to, I think other people have actually noticed the doubles as well, but
I agree with you. Yep. And the eyes tell it. Yeah. When it was the real Hillary, her eyes, she looks so tired and so drained. But when they bring the double out, there are not the baggy eyes. There's not the dark circles. And there's actually a sparkle and life in those eyes.
Good point. Yeah, good point. I think it's like 10 years younger than the way Hillary looks.
Yes, exactly.
Hillary's an old 70s. She's not robust. So, there's pictures. I have tons of pictures of her, videos on my site of people helping her up on podiums and her walking slowly and the way she walks upstairs. It's actually sad, but it's really not. It's like she's the worst. We've had other people in government who've been sick. Roosevelt was sick for the last parts of his tenure during World War II, and Wilson actually had a stroke, and his wife ran the country for about 18 months or something like that. But I can't remember anybody being that sick who ran for office as a president in this country.
I'm honestly to the belief that I don't think, even if she made it in and were to drop dead for any reason whatsoever, I think that she is almost, in a way, kind of carrying Kane into the office.
Yeah. What if they make her double, like the president, and play the double off?
Are you talking like the movie Dave?
Yeah. Or have you ever watched Kagemusha, the Japanese film, where they employ a double for 2 years until he's discovered and they leave, but they're like fool all of their enemies and implement all their policies. It's an Akira Kurosawa movie. See, Kagemusha. It's on my Netflix queue, but it's an amazing. All of Akira Kurosawa's movies are amazing, but that movie, I was watching. I'm like, man, this could actually happen in real world. This could be exactly what they do. People at the top. Bill Clinton puts in. Yeah, it's crazy.
The reason why I brought up the cocaine thing is because one of the interesting things that Timothy Alberino brought up was that he is actually Jesuit trained.
Right.
And we have our first Jesuit Pope over in the Vatican right now. So How interesting would that be if we had a Jesuit trained president and the Jesuit Pope working?
Very interesting. Yeah, well, I think Bill Clinton was Jesuit trained too, so there might be sympathies within the Clinton family for that, particular outlook. Bill Clinton went to Georgetown.
And Kane trained for 2 years in South America.
Yeah, he may have a CIA, background. I think that would be interesting. It's believable. And he's a very interesting guy. If you want to see what his character is like, go Google online Timothy Kane berates daughter. There's like a 2-minute tape of him really giving his daughter it's very interesting. You have to listen to it. But I think it shows insight into his personality, the way he treats his kid.
There's another interesting thing that we need to definitely get into, and that is the whole Uma Abedin thing.
She could be a spook.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm alluding to, is that I definitely believe she's a Saudi Arabian plant, that she is a spy. And with her having 650,000 emails on her own computer that she was supposed to have turned over to the State Department whenever she left, just like Hillary and all the rest of them, that she signed that document, and having all those classified emails on there. And plus, I think they even went so far as to say that she actually sent some of the classified emails to Saudi Arabia.
Wow. I didn't hear that. But if that's the case, it's a breach of national security. That's a very serious issue. And she's kind of like kind of a hidden figure, and her parentage, or her father was not some kind of like middle of the road Islamist. He was a very well-known, to my understanding, a well-known Islamic theorist of some sort. I forgot what his derivation was, but I've seen videos of him online. So her history is very interesting, and they could have a real serious national security issue on regarding Huma Abedin. Mind you, she actually told. I remember reading through the WikiLeaks, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" But she told people she liked to take stuff home so she could print it out from her home printer, because the printer at the office she couldn't figure out. That was her excuse, and I'm like, "What? You let these people do that?" I was thinking, this is incredible. That story isn't believable either.
Yeah.
So, that's how you kind of hand off information, is you make a hard copy of it and give it off, so there's no electronic trail.
Well,
one of the connections that I found that I thought was extremely interesting is the fact that she is Anthony Weiner's estranged wife.
Right.
So
Yeah,
she
that's something
fits
I
in.
found.
Yeah, she fits into this whole, in like a small picture, but she is actually in the big picture, considering who she is married to.
Well, not only that, but she was born in the United States, and at 2 years old, they took her back to Saudi Arabia. She lived there her entire life until she was 18 years old, and she came up here to the United States to go to college. And then just a couple of years right out of college, she's working with Hillary there at the State Department.
Yeah, it's
Well,
amazing.
talk about where her address, what it is linked to, because she is associated with the violent part of Islam, and they share the same address. In what country was that?
Her mom and her brother work, or their own company, which is affiliated with terrorists. That's come out I don't know how many times, and that's the thing is, she is completely linked to terrorism, and she is working in the United States government and has access to classified information. And not only that, she's, like you said, she's taking it home, putting it on her own computer, and then emailing it to Saudi Arabia.
That's
Incredible.
treason. That's the perfect definition of treason.
Well, the more research that I hear about and I'm reading into about Abedin, Hillary, I don't think the leaked emails are by accident. Whether it's our enemies hacking into the emails or the supposed leak by Hillary herself, I think that's all planned out. And regardless of who's doing what, our people are being pulled by strings just as much as any other country.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And look at, just as an example, look at who trained Osama bin Laden and the Al Qaeda and the numerous other Muslim radicals that are around ISIS. Who trained all of those people? We did. And for it to be an accident, quote unquote, that these emails just secretly leaked out, I find that very hard to believe.
Well, like I said, the FBI, I believe the FBI is basically in full-on meltdown mode over there right now.
I have no doubt.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I've heard reports that there are agents that are actually willing to go to prison to oust Hillary and all the corruption that is going on over there. They are willing to put the information out there and go to prison.
No, I'm not surprised. They probably see it all, They see the cover-up. They see the criminality. So, that's bad. There's actually, Huma Abedin is featured in the O'Keefe videos from Project Veritas. They actually, they actually filmed her where she was talking about people being Islamophobic and all this stuff like that. She sounds very interesting if you listen to her. She's in a bar, and it seems like her guard is down. I'll have to go back and look at that video, but I thought, people should take a look at those videos of her provided by James O'Keefe.
Yeah,
But
those Verita videos are definitely very interesting. I mean, they hardly even talk about any of this stuff. I mean, that's the thing is, how sad is it that you have to go online and you have to like literally go to different sites to get this information when they should be broadcasting this all over every channel?
yeah, it's a great point. Why do you think that is? Why is the total corporate media, CNN, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, why aren't they talking about WikiLeaks as much or about Project Veritas?
They're owned.
Yeah.
They are
I was gonna say
owned.
controlled by the elites, absolutely.
Right. So how many corporations own the totality of our mass media?
Five.
Nothing. Yeah, you get 5 people. You manipulate 5 people at the top of those corporations, provide them payoffs or sweetheart deals, and you can control the minds of the Americans. It's incredible. Those are only a few levers. One of the things I remember when I was in D.C. is they talked about some of the monies that the president had power over, and one of them was these drug ads. There were $700 million provided back then. I remember this is 20 years ago. $700 million provided to the president for anti-drug advertisements, and all that money went to the major media operatives, and they played these anti-drug things at 1:30 a.m., 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. But that, I remember somebody telling me that was the way that how the one of the ways that the executive branch could put its hand on the media by these millions of dollars in free government advertising that they would put on CNN, ABC, CNBC, all these lettered things. And that was, they'd say, well, we'll retract our $50 million in anti-drug advertisement right there. So that was money that these guys would rely upon. And that's just one of the ways that these big corporations get manhandled by the executive branch.
Well, all these news outlets have CIA operatives working in there. In fact, Anderson Cooper, he's a prime example. You look at him, he's a CIA operative. I mean, he worked for the CIA 2 years before he ever even got into broadcasting.
Yep.
So,
Mockingbird Media.
That I found very interesting is the fact that there is a super high percentage of these people that are in the government that are actually married to people that are in a part of the news media, the reporting.
Right.
It's extremely high.
One of those interesting aspects is there's in some of my more recent videos, Andrea Mitchell is receiving information from like somebody's iPod. It's Hillary Clinton's press secretary hands Andrea Mitchell his phone for her to read. Then she asks a question about Trump's connection to Vladimir Putin, hands the phone back to the press secretary. But Andrea Mitchell is married to Alan Greenspan, the former head of the Fed. And if you think that you're getting objective, non-biased information from her, you're out of your mind. It's incredible.
Well, not only that, but Fox News is actually owned by, or half owned by one of the Saudi princes.
Yeah, so there's another example. I mean,
isn't that Solomon Abedin?
Oh, don't get me to line.
I don't know.
One thing too, speaking of the media, what do you all think of the fact that Hillary was supplied with many of the questions that were given during the debate between her and Trump? So that was supposed to give her a leg up.
That's just the one that we know about. I mean,
right.
This is just more proof in the pudding that, this is all, basically fabricated. It's nothing is real. Not even the news that you're watching on mainstream media. None of it is real. It's all fabricated for your enjoyment. Sit back and enjoy.
Well, it's interesting you say that because one of my kind of takeaways from this whole WikiLeaks isn't just this is what's going on for the Clinton campaign or this government, but this is probably how it's always been. There's always been these administrations taking, news people out to lunch or, buttering them up and all this stuff. I bet it's been going on for decades.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that because, like I said, I don't believe that Obama was ever elected, to be honest with you, because back right before he ever even got elected the first time, remember they spirited him away. They had all the reporters on the plane. They spirited him away with Hillary, and where did they go? They met up with Bilderberg. And then the next thing you know, a few weeks later, he was president. And that's the thing is, I'm telling you, this is none of this. There is no election. Your vote does not count. It does not matter. And if you think that I'm playing, go and look up Electoral College. Watch anything about Electoral College, and that will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt what I'm saying right now. Your vote does not matter, does not count.
Yeah, watch them stuff in the ballot box.
Yeah.
Well, what was that?
Oh,
Justin?
I was going to bring that up as well. I mean, even if they didn't stuff the ballot box, the Electoral College has the ability to choose whatever presidential candidate they want to, but they will take into consideration the votes. It doesn't mean that your vote counted.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the whole thing about the Electoral College is that basically if the predominant, okay, let's say for Texas, for example, let's say that the predominant votes are for Trump, then there are 4 people that will basically, there'll be 4 Republicans that will decide. Now, those 4 Republicans, they might not all vote for Trump. You see what I'm saying? That's how it's decided.
Right.
Yeah, and you notice that we're not hearing anything about the Electoral College right now.
Well,
with all this coming out.
The whole thing about the rigged voting machines, the whole thing about the delegates, the super delegates, and the Electoral College, your vote does not matter. The only thing is if you go out and cast a vote, they can't steal your vote if you don't cast a vote.
Agreed.
Well, they can make it up. If you don't vote, they'll vote for you.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're dead, if they go out in the graveyard and get your information, and I mean, that's we know that they've been doing that for years. But like I said, again, it all boils down to the Electoral College vote, and that's the thing is, if all these people, who are they connected with? Who is paying them? What lobbyists are they in bed with? And that's the thing. These are the people that are actually deciding the presidential election.
Has anyone ever seen what the Electoral College consists of? Who's there? I don't remember ever seeing anyone from the Electoral College.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any information on it either.
Yeah, they don't really announce a lot of that stuff. But like I said, as far as what I know of the Electoral College, is like I said, if it's predominantly Republican in that state. Okay, there's 4 for each state, 8 for each state. 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats. If it's predominantly Republican, then those 4 Republicans get to make the choice. They get to give their deciding votes. But again, like I said, those 4 don't all have to vote for Trump. So those 4 could actually go and they could vote straight Democrat. So that's why I said, I mean, it's the whole thing about going out and voting. It's a joke. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's a farce.
And the absentee ballots, they get those. They throw them away. I've seen them do it on the videos. They come in, or when you register to vote or file and if you say who you're going to register for, they rip them up and discard it.
Yeah, well, in the when Hillary and Bernie were doing the preliminary votes for California, they didn't even count the votes for California, which Bernie won. They just declared Hillary the winner and moved forward. That was it. They talked to the guy who was the head of the count in California. He says, "Oh yeah, it takes us a month to finish the whole vote. We just declare the winner right away." It was incredible. It's incredible corruption.
Have you seen?
Doesn't make any sense.
Have you seen the things that Alex Jones and them were talking about? That they've already got the logos and stuff done up for like ABC and all them, that basically announcing Hillary's already won the presidential election.
Yeah, all the graphics were found in the back. Yeah, I saw
and that she won by 42% and all that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I've got to figure it out. Well, we'll find out in 5 days.
Yeah, right.
She went to 42%. Right? Yep. Got it all figured out.
Okay, now we've went through up to this point. What do you all feel is going to happen on Election Day and after, being Trump wins or Hillary? What do you think the reaction will be?
I think the country is going to melt down either way. It doesn't matter who wins. The country is going to lose its mind.
I agree with Chad.
I agree with that. I agree with Chad.
I mean, regardless of who is voted in, we're screwed.
Well,
Do you think the American people are going to stand up?
Well,
it would take a lot, I think. Yeah, I think it would take a lot.
Yeah. What were you going to say, William?
I was just agreeing with both Chad and Justin. It's going to take a lot, and I think my prediction will be that Trump will win the national vote, and Hillary will end up president. They'll steal it for her. All of the media will declare her the winner at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, November 8th.
Landslide.
A comfortable 4-point margin. That's what I give my guess. They won't be close.
Do you think this could throw us into a civil uprising toward the government or between the American people themselves?
I don't know. I don't know what the response will be, but I do think that Hillary Clinton means more war and more basically like a feudal type of government. So I think that the Americans will really have to sit up in their chair and make some very serious decisions if she ends up as president.
Yeah, I could definitely see her stirring up something with Syria within the first 6 months in office, easily.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
And,
I mean, the Russians say Trump equals peace, Hillary equals war. They're saying Hillary equals World War III. So,
well, I believe if Trump is in, we're going into Civil War Part 2. So, I mean, I told Kay this, when Trump first started, I backed him 100% because he wasn't taking any money from the lobbyists. But the more he's gone along, the more it's painfully obvious that he is going to cause as much trouble and as much pain and suffering as Hillary is.
What's the solution? What can we do?
Leave the country.
Yes, we the country, not us four, even though we are part of the country. But what can the country step up and do?
Sadly, I honestly believe that it would take a second civil war to try and start correcting it a little bit, but not so much against each other, but against the government itself, against the powers that be.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, just because there hasn't been shots fired doesn't mean that we're not already in a civil war. I mean, I believe that we actually already are. The thing is that, first thing you got to do is put your money where your mouth is and basically civil disobedience. Just quit. That's the thing. Imagine if everybody in the United States stopped filing their income taxes and said, no, I'm not doing it. What could they do? What could they actually do? They couldn't put all of us in jail. It would cause everything to come screeching to a crashing halt. That's the thing is, if you want to hurt the government, withhold your money. That's the first and quickest and easiest way is to withhold your money. Start going to all of the different government buildings and basically block it. Don't let anybody in or out. I mean,
that's funny that you bring that up because something that has stuck with me for a long time is I saw a video once that basically states there is nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the IRS has the right to make us pay taxes or file our taxes.
No, it's totally it was all contrived back in 1912
something like that
when they enacted the Federal Reserve. I mean, it's totally 100% illegal. There is several videos. You can go on YouTube and type in IRS agent no income tax and stuff like that, and you will see numerous agents that actually they were challenged to go in and find where it says in the tax code or the code period, where's the law that says you have to file an income tax, and none of them could. In fact, the best thing that I could recommend, watch Russo's film, Freedom to Fascism. Watch that movie, and you will actually see the agents that I'm talking about. You can go and watch their own personal videos where they go and give lectures and stuff, and every single one of them, they quit paying their taxes. They haven't paid taxes since then.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. That's the beautiful thing about it. Now, if they want to enact something where it is 100% legal, then they would have to do something like a flat tax. But as far as you having to pay income tax, you don't have to. if everyone that's challenged them and told them produce the law, everyone that's gone into court, whether it be local level or federal or whatever, every time that they are challenged to produce the law that shows where they have to do it, they always the case is dismissed because they can't produce it. It's that simple.
And one of my all-time favorite phrases is, the only two things you have to do in life is breathe and pay taxes. And you don't even have to pay your taxes.
Well, I mean, we are the most heavily taxed nation on the planet.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing is, what is it, 33% that they automatically take out of your checks, but then every time you buy stuff, you're paying additional taxes, plus you have to pay taxes on your house, and everything else. So, I mean, by the time you add it all up, we're paying almost 39% in taxes yearly.
They're trying to jack taxes here up by 400% for the election.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is Hillary's already said that, when she gets in, the taxes are going up on everybody. So if you thought 39% was a lot, get ready, brace yourself. And then with Obamacare, this joke, Obamacare was not created to help anybody. It was created to basically to run all the other insurance companies out of business and to put everybody further in debt. I mean, look at it right now. I mean, the people that were paying $500 a month for their premiums and stuff, it's going up to, what is it, $2,700 now?
Right. And if you don't have insurance, you're paying out the butt come tax season.
Well, yeah, it's a $900 fine every year that you don't have it.
Right.
So, you know what? Yeah, I don't even want to get started on that because I'll go ballistic.
I thought you just got cut off there, and that
he cut himself off.
Yeah.
Well,
we didn't have to pull his mic. He did it for us.
That's right. He just said, "Oh, I know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a whole nother hour."
Oh, that would be good. But is there anything that we need to add tonight that the American people need to know? What can, we need to pray, but would it do any good to write the senators because you just don't know anymore. But have we left anything out that needs to be shared?
I'm to the opinion, this is me personally, and I know I'm probably coming off as the Debbie Downer on this episode, and that I hate that that's the way it is, but I believe that the whole thing about voting the bums out at this point is just utterly naive. The system is so corrupt to the core, there is no salvaging it. I mean, it is going to take some kind of a civil war. The system will have to be brought to its knees and basically be rebuilt, because where it stands right now, it's so corrupt. There's no, you can't just take a few of them out of there and hope that that's going to fix it.
Right. If you want to change through voting, if you have everybody on their side, if somebody on the inside is fixing the vote, then it's not worthwhile, right? There's no real change, right?
Right.
That's right.
Well, one thing that I have to say is people wake up. You want to call people conspiracy theorists. You want to call people, liars because they're not doing all the research. Do the research yourself. All the research that we went through to get this show done was filtered and found out to be from a reputable source. And, it's not going to take people just sitting around and just accepting what's going on. If you don't change things will never change.
Yeah, think of your children and your grandkids. I mean, that's the one thing that I could really stress is think about your children and your grandkids. Because, I mean, if not for you, for them. I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, you see how blatant the corruption is right now. Can you imagine if it continued on and kept going on down the road, how bad it's going to be 10, 15 years from now?
Yeah.
I mean, we might as well be living in Saudi Arabia or some country like that because, I mean, it will be Sharia law. It will be a dictatorship.
Right. And I think that's what they're trying to push us towards is, like I said, with the DAPL thing and several things going on here. If the DAPL things gets out of control, what's stopping Obama before he's out of office to declare martial law and continue his presidency for a third term? Nothing.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say my name, Chad. I have been saying this for the last 4 years, that we have really seen the last presidential election. There has never been another election to rival the one that we're going through right now.
Agreed.
And it was about 4 years ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and I texted my son that was in in Washington State in the military, him and his wife. And I said, we have seen the last presidential election we've ever seen. We will never see another one. And I went immediately back to sleep. So I was woke up for a reason, and I sent that, and it was just very strange. And I honestly believe that it foretold what we're going through right now, because this is a fiasco. This is not a true presidential election.
Right.
Yeah, this ain't even the United States that I remember when I was a kid. I mean, I look at all the stuff going on nowadays around me, and I'm just like, I don't even recognize it. It's like I've been abducted in the middle of the night and dropped off on an alien planet, and I just want to go home.
That's a good point. I mean, it really does. I mean, even from when I was, the country has gone through incredible changes, and I don't think it's going the right direction. So, I think we need to pull the reins of the government back. Put it back into the hands of the people. So,
yes, put the control where it belongs. Would you and Justin and William like to give out your information?
Sure. All my information, you can see a lot of my YouTube videos at William Ramsey or William Ramsey Investigates. My website where you can buy my books is occultinvestigations.com, and I'm pretty active on Facebook, so if people want to see the stuff I post there.
Great. And they can contact you through Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook or my email. You can William Ramsey or William Ramsey. No, it's occultinvestigations@gmail.com. That's one.
Okay. And Justin?
All right. Well, you can find me and my co-host Eric every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at ParaTruthRadio.com. We do have a contact form for you if you ever want to get in contact with us. We broadcast on YouTube, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, any podcasting app that you can find. And we love hearing from our listeners. So hit us up. Yes,
check both Justin and William's channels out. They're excellent. And we appreciate you both coming on for this extremely important broadcast. And would someone like to say the closing prayer, or would you prefer I do it?
Go for it.
Okay. Father, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And I pray that we got all the information out that you wanted us to share. Please look over our country, Father. We ask you this because you're the only one who can save us and save our country. There are Christians here, Father, that love you dearly, and it's not all evil people. And I know that you see this. Please look after everyone. I pray that you bless each and every person out there and here, and lead this election. Make sure, Father, please, that no violence erupts, that it stays calm, and as I said before, that it is handled in a mature way, and that everything we know that happens is done for your glory, and we accept that, and we accept the fact that your will be done. So I pray this, Father, in Jesus' holy and mighty name. Amen.
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 And to all the agents out there that are fighting the good fight and leaking this information and that are opposing this corrupt government, we salute you.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Amen. Keep up the good fight. Well, we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in for this special broadcast. Please be sure to tune in to Deception Detection Radio's usual broadcast time, and that's on Sundays at 12 noon. And God bless all of you, and take care. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.